kids, welcome to today's maths class, and today we'll do ratios and proportion and unitary method. Our learning objectives are ratio and equivalent ratio, dividing a certain number in the given ratio, comparison of the ratios and more than two ratios. Next is proportion, extreme and means, continued proportion and unitary method. First is ratio. A ratio is a relationship between two number sizes or quantities indicating how many times the first number, size or quantity contain the second. For example, if a basket of fruits contain 8 oranges and 6 lemon, then the ratio of orange to lemon is the 8 to 6, 8 ratio 6, which is the equivalent to the ratio of 4 ratio 3. Similarly, the ratio of lemon to the orange, that is 6 ratio 8, that is equals to 3 ratio 4, and the ratio of oranges to total amount of fruit, that is 8 ratio 40, 4 ratio 7. Clear? Next is equivalent ratio. We know that 30 upon 15, that is equals to 2 upon 1. Thus, 30 ratio 50, that is 2 ratio 1. We say that 30 ratio 15 and 2 ratio 1 are equivalent ratio. Clear? Next, fact file. The order in which the ratio is expressed is important. Using the previous example of the class of 45 students, the boys girls ratio is 30 ratio 15, means boys का कितना 30 and girls का 15, 2 ratio 1 or 2 upon 1, while the girls to boys ratio, that is 15 ratio 30, that is 1 ratio 2 or 1 by 2. The ratio has no unit. It is merely a number which indicates how many times one quantity is as great as the other and what fractions one quantity is of another. For example, the boy-girl ratio 2 ratio 1 indicates that the number of boys is twice that of number of girls, and the girl-boy ratio, that is 1 ratio 2, that indicates that there are half as many girls as there are boys. The ratio is reduced to its simplest form or lowest term. 30 ratio 15 हम simplest form में करेंगे, that is expressed as 2 ratio 1 or 2 by 1. Hint. We should divide the term of ratio by their HCF to bring the ratio into lowest form. Lowest form में करने के लिए we'll divide it by HCF. Now I'll take an example. Find the ratio of 40 gram to 200 gram. So 40 gram to 200 gram, that is 40 upon 200. 0 से 0 कट हो जाएगा, 4 1 से 4, 4 5 से 20. So 1 upon 5 of 1 ratio 5. Next is some more examples are being given below. Find the ratio in its simplest form of each of the pair. So first is rupees 1.25 to rupees 10. So ratio निकाला है rupees 1.25 to 10. So 1.25, what will do? Here we'll convert them into same unit. So 1.25, that is equals to 125 paisa, and 10 rupees equals to 1000 paisa. So 125 upon 1000, that is 1 by 8 or 1 ratio 8. Clear? Next is some important observations. The comparison or the relationship between two quantities of same kind with respect to unit by division is called ratio. The order of the term in ratio is very important. For example, the ratio 10 ratio 4 is very different from the ratio 4 ratio 10. So order is very important. To obtain the ratio in the simplest form, we divide each term by their HCF in both terms. Next is exercise 7.1. Critical thinking. Express the following ratios in the language of daily life. In India, the ratio of the number of villages to that cities is about 2000 ratio 1. So we can say in India, the number of villages to that of city. So number of villages is 2000 times that of the cities. because ratio क्या है 2000:1. Clear? Next is dividing a certain number in a given ratio. If two quantities are in ratio A ratio B, then we can assume as AX and BX respectively, where X is the common factor that can divide both the values. For example, if the ratio of the ages of father and son is 3:2, then you can assume that the father age is 3x and son age is 2x. If the number n is divided into the ratio A ratio B, then the two parts of n are n into A upon A plus B and n into B upon A plus B. So, total into antecedents or consequent upon antecedents plus consequent. Total into numerator or denominator or upon numerator plus denominator. Clear? Now, we will take an example. Divide rupees 880 between A and B in the ratio 3:5. So, here we are using algebraic method. Let's share rupees 3x, A का share 3x rupees है and B का share 5x है, because ratio is given 3:5. So, we have assumed that the share of A, that is 3x, and share of B, that is 5x. So, according to question, 3x plus 5x, that is total equals to 880 rupees. So, 3x plus 5x 8x, that is equals to 880. So, x की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 110. So, now A share हो जाएगा 3x means 3 into 110, that is rupees 330. B का share 5 into x means 5 into 110, that is rupees 550. There is one more method, alternate method, 3:5. So, what we can do? Total money 880 and the share of A, that is 3 upon, दोनों को add कर देंगे ratio को, that is 8, 3 plus 5. So, 880 into 3 upon 8, that is equals to 330. B का share हो जाएगा 880, out of that उसका ratio क्या था 5. So, 5 upon 8, that is equals to rupees 550. Clear? Next is comparing ratios. First is comparing two ratios. Suppose you have to compare two ratios A ratio B and C ratio D. You can use the following step. Take the LCM of the denominator. Form equivalent ratios such that the denominator of both the ratios is the LCM. Check the numerator of the equivalent ratio. The ratio having the greater numerator is the equivalent fraction. So, formed is the greater ratio. Next is shortcut method. In this method, in comparing two ratios, you may also use the following technique, which is the shortest version of the above method. Write A upon B and C upon D, then cross multiply the denominator with the numerator of the other ratio. Like here, one is A upon B and other fraction is C upon D. So, what we'll do? We'll multiply the numerator of first fraction to denominator of the other fraction and the denominator of first fraction to the numerator of the second fraction. Clear? Remember that A and C stays at the same position and you can write AD and BC after multiplying. Now compare AD and BC. So, conclusion is A upon B is greater than C upon D. If AD means A or D का जो product है, that is greater than BC. A upon B equals to C upon D if AD equals to BC, and A upon B is less than C upon D if AD is less than BC. Next, comparing more than two ratios. You can compare the ratio by converting them into equivalent fractions with the same denominator, which is generally the LCM of denominator. For example, compare the following ratios by arranging them in the ascending order. So, our ratios are 3:7, 5:8, 11:14, 23:28. So first what we'll do? We'll take the LCM of 7, 8, 14 and 28, that is 56. Like 3:7 hai. So we'll write it 3/7. So like this, we'll write all the ratios and take the LCM of denominator. So here it is 56. So 3:7. 56 divided by 7, that is 8. So we'll multiply both in numerator and denominator by 8, that is 24 upon 56. Next is 35 upon 56, 44 upon 56, 46 upon 56. Now here we have make the denominator same. Now we'll compare the numerator. So 24, 35, 44, 46. जिसका भी ज़्यादा numerator होगा, that will be the greater. Clear? So 3:7 is less than 5:8, less than 11:14, less than 23:28. This will be the order. Clear? So this way we can compare. Next is exercise 7.2. Subject enrichment. Find the greater ratio in each of the following pairs. 1:4 and 7:20. So we have to compare. We'll use the method of cross multiplication. One into 20, that is 20, and 4 into 7, 28. That means 7 upon 20 will be greater than 1/4 because इसका product ज़्यादा है. So 7 upon 20 will be greater than 1/4, or we can write 1/4 is less than 7 upon 20. Clear? So practice all the questions of this exercise. Next is proportions. Imagine that during your summer vacations, you have joined a computer class and you pay ₹20 per day for the class. The table below shows the amount you will have to pay for the days you attend the class. Here the number of days and amount paid. For 1 day, you have paid ₹20. For 2 days, 40, 3, 60, 4, 80, 5 days, 100, and so on. So clearly, the longer is the number of days, the greater is the amount paid. जितने ज़्यादा दिन करेंगे उतना ज़्यादा amount pay करना पड़ेगा. When the number of days of the class attended is double, is the amount paid is also double? Yes. So we notice that 4 days ratio 2 days, that is equals to 80 rupees ratio 40 rupees. So 4:2 equals to 80:40. That is equals to 2:1. 4 upon 2, 80 upon 40. करेंगे इसको तो 2 upon 1. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. 2 upon 1. As 6 days ratio 2 days. 6 days का कितना है? 120 rupees. 2 days का 40 rupees. So 120 upon 40, 3:1. 6/2 equals to 120 upon 40 equals to 3 upon 1. We also notice that x upon y equals to 1 upon 20. Numerator we have taken the number of days and here the amount. So 1 upon 20, 2 upon 40, 3 upon 60, 4 upon 80, 5 upon 100, so on. So what is the conclusion? Thus, x and y are the two quantities such that one increase, the other one also increase. Clear? And always the same ratio. Here we say that the two quantities x and y are directly proportional. Means if one increase, the other one will also increase. If one decrease, the other will also decrease. In this case, the amount paid is directly proportional to the number of days the class attended. 6:2 equals to 3:1. Next is extremes and mean. It may be noted that the above example, the four quantities involved are also called the respective terms. The first and the 4 terms, 6 and 1, are called the extreme terms or the extremes, and the second and third, 2 and 3, are called the middle terms or means. In this case, we noted that 6 into 1 equals to 2 into 3 means the product of extreme, that is equals to product of mean. Product of extreme means 6 into 1 and the product of mean 2 into 3, that is also 6. So that is equal. Clear? In another case of 40:20, that is not equals to 2:4. We notice that 40 into 4, that is not equals to 20 to 2. Means the product of extreme, that is not equals to product of means. So conclusion, thus if 4 members are in proportion, then the product of the extreme is equal to the product of means. But if these are not in proportion, then the product of extreme is not equal to the product of means. Means if ratios are in proportion, so the product of extreme will be equal to the product of mean. If they are not in proportion, the product of extreme will not equal to product of mean. Now we'll take an example. Are 40, 50, 50, 40 in proportion? So for that, product of extreme 40 into 40, that is equals to 50 into 50, we'll check. So 40 into 40, that is 1600, 50 into 50, that is 2500. So they are not equal, that means they are not in proportion. Clear? Since the product of extreme is not equal to the product of mean, so they are not in proportion. Clear? So this way we can check. Next is continued proportion. In a case like 4:6 equals to 6:9, you will note that second and the third terms are the same. In such case, we say that 4, 6, 9 are in continued proportion, or simply that the 3 numbers are in ratio 4:6:9. Also note that the number expressed as 4:6:9 means 4:6 equals to 6:9. Now we'll take an example. Are 80, 50, 120 and 75 in proportion? So we can check whether the 4 numbers are in proportion by either the definition or the property of the proportion. So first method by definition. So 80:50. So check करेंगे रेशियो क्या आ गया, 8:5 and 120:75, that is also 8/5, means they are in proportion. Second method, the product of extreme, that is 80 into 75, that is 6000, and the product of mean 50 into 120, that is also 6000, means they are in proportion. Clear? Some more examples are given here. You have to practice them. Next is some important observations. And quantity to 2 ratios is called the proportion. The number A, B, C and D are in proportion if ratio of the first 2 is equal to the ratio of last 2, means A:B, that is equals to C:D. If the 4 numbers are in proportion, the product of extreme terms is equal to the product of mean term. If A:B is equals to B:C, then A, B, C are said to be in proportion. In this case, the product of extreme middle terms, the middle terms B is called the mean proportion between A and C. When 2 quantities are so related that if one increase or decrease, the other increase or decrease in the same ratio, then the 2 quantities are said to be in direct variation. Next is exercise 7.3. Subject enrichment. Write T for true and F for false against the following statement. 16:24 equals to 20:30. So we'll check 16/24. 4 से so 2/3 and 20/30 that is also 2 by 3. Means that is true. So we'll write T for it. Clear? Practice all the questions of this exercise. Next, unitary method. The unitary method is a technique which is used for solving a problem by finding the value of the single unit by dividing and then finding the necessary value by multiplying the single unit value. In essence, the unitary method is used to find the value of the unit from the value of multiple, and hence the value of the multiple. In unitary method, it is not always necessary to find the value of the single unit. Let us study it with the help of example. For example, a man walks 7 miles in 2 hours. How far does he walk in 7 hours? So, one walk first calculated how far the man walks in 1 hour. So, one can safely assume that he would walk half the distance in half the time. Therefore, dividing by 2, the man walks 3.5 miles in 1 hour. Multiplying by 7 for hours, the man walks 7 into 3.5, that is 24.5 miles. Let us consider the distance travelled by the man is x. Then divide the given distance by the 7 is equal to the time taken to travel x distance, that is 7 hours, divided time taken to travel 7 miles, that is 2 hours. Clear? Therefore, x upon 7 equals to 7 upon 2, hence x equals to 24.5 miles. The same method can be applied for a problem. A man walks a 4 mile per kilometer. How long it will take to cover 5 miles? Dividing by 4 shows that the man cover 1 mile in the quarter or 0.25 of an hour. Multiplying by 5 shows that the man therefore take 1 hour and quarter, 1.25 hours to cover 5 miles. Similarly, by the second method, we can find the value of time taken to cover 5 miles. First method is more preferable and easier. Next is some examples are given below for you. If 6 oil tankers can be filled by a pipe in 4 1/2 hours, how long does the pipe take to fill 4 such oil tankers? Solution. Here, the known quantity is the number of oil tankers, that is our known quantity, and unknown quantity is time. So, we will put unknown quantity on the right hand side. So, 6 oil tankers are filled in 4 1/2 means 9/2 hours. So, 1 oil tanker को fill करने में कितना लगता है? 9/2 into 1/6 hours. Clear? So, 4 oil tanker 9/2 into 1/6 into 4. That is equals to 3 hours. Clear? Next is some important observations. The method of finding first the value of unit quantity from the value of given quantity and then the value of required quantity is called the unitary method. Unitary method means first we'll find the quantity of 1 and then the desired quantity. Next is exercise 7.4. Critical thinking. If 8 water tanker can filled by a pipe in 7 1/2 hours, how much time will be taken by the pipe to fill 16 such water tanker? So, 8 water tanker को fill करने में time is 7 1/2 hour, 7 2 14 and 1 15 by 2 hours. So, for 1 water tanker, how much time? 15 by 2 into 1/8. So, for 16, 15 by 2 into 1/8 into 16. Now, we'll solve it. 8 1 8, 8 2 16 means 15 hours. Clear? So, you have to practice all the questions of this exercise. Next is, let's recall. Tick the correct option. The ratio of the income to the saving of the family is 15:4. Find the expenditure if the saving is rupees 2,800. So ratio of income and saving is 15:4. Suppose income is 15x and saving that is 4x. That means expenditure कितना है? Expenditure 15x minus 4x, that is equals to 11x. As we know, saving given है 4x, that is equals to rupees 2,800. So value of x 800 upon 4, that is equals to rupees 700. Clear? So expenditure क्या हो जाएगा? 11x है, so 11 into 700, that is equals to rupees 7,700. So here C is the correct option. Clear? So here we end the chapter. I hope you understand it well. Now you have to practice it.